That looked like the boat on page 9. Looked like the little ladder on the side. I'm like, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. It's worth looking around in McGill, and I've never left. I mean, that was it. I mean, I love that. I love that city. I can't wait to get to go visit. You'll never get to dig there, though.
I've never been. I really, really want to go.
I'd love to go visit, but I mean, the city I'm most sure about is never coming out of the ground if I'm right. I mean, it's not coming out of the ground. They're not going to give you permission.
Which city is that?
No, Montreal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so that Montreal is the one you're most sure of. Okay.
I'm the most sure. That's the one that I'm the most sure about. And the second one's Milwaukee. Those are the two that I'm.
Universities are really weird. You could bypass a lot of problems with universities if you just sort of hit the permission thing from a different angle. Like instead of talking to the university, if you talk to students, like if you feel like Montreal is rooted in compounds, like in elements and whatnot, if you talk to like a chemistry club or any kind of student that's really into chemistry and get them excited about it, I bet they could get it dug for you. Because like it's one thing when a random person goes to a college and says, "Let me dig a hole," because I think I'm onto something. It's completely different when a student's like, "No, we're just going to dig this hole right now."
Yeah, well, they're there, and people in that particular dell at McGill. I mean, that's where people hang out. That's where the sculpture there. That's my white stone closest. Is the three new men called the Three Bears, and so many numbers make sense. Radon was discovered there, and someone pointed out it wasn't radon 222. It didn't matter. Back then, they didn't know that stuff. They just knew they found an element. They didn't know it was exactly atomic mass 222. They didn't know that. That was all discovered later. But Rutherford discovered that at McGill, and I'm like, well, that's worth exploring. So what if it's the weight and root of radon? And then my two objects are 226 feet apart. And that took me a long time to figure that out because I had thought maybe it's the shadow of the flagpole. I was like, but I never left that dell. I'm like, it definitely has something to do with the Three Bears. But my spot now, I've not changed it for, 6 months. Like it's definitely, I found some new stuff too with prime numbers. And the number it turns out to be is 113, which is a prime number. And it's also the number. Like I make a lot of connections, like, Boston closes on Montreal in the book. And Boston is the 11 image-3 verse, which is 113 if you take out the dash. A lot of little coincidences like that.
Yeah. So chat is asking if anybody's having, because the video apparently is buffering a lot. Chase is asking if it's his connection. It's not. It's mine. It's my connection. I'm having really, my internet provider screwed something up and I have a really bad upload. So I'm recording this and then I'm just going to upload it later, but I figured might as well go live because the audio still is okay for people, but the video.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I'm on my phone for audio, so I don't need the internet for that, but my computer is old, really old.
That's what I had to get. I gave Bradley a new computer because his is like Windows 98. It's crazy.
I haven't bought a computer. Like all I buy is a little laptop just for internet. Like I don't put anything on it anymore.
Yeah.
Like everything I do with The Secret is on my phone. Everything.
It's the way it is for most people. I've come to find out. Like people who come visit me, they used to bring stuff and now they don't. It's just like, here's my phone and 800 tabs that I have saved.
Yeah, like all mine's like. My notes to myself, I just message myself in Messenger. I just send it to me.
Oh.
And then I use the search function to be like, okay, I remember I had an anagram with headstone. And I'll search headstone and I'll find it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I've got 10,000 messages to myself. But that's my little trick.
Give me 1 second.
She brought me, I think this is a daiquiri.
Oh, yum. So let me ask you one thing. I know we're, like I said, we talked about before. We're not really getting into ideas here, but what's your background? Like, do you have because you focus on like chemistry, or well, not chemistry, but elements. Do you have like a scientific background, or?
Well, I'm a pharmacist.
Oh, so yeah, kind of.
That's my science background. I took a lot of science and chemistry classes, and obviously that's all pharmacist is. Obviously,
Yeah.
I didn't focus on the periodic table of elements. Again, that all stemmed from, I got to give a shout out to Andrew Cullen. I think that's his name. He had pointed out that, radon was discovered at McGill. And I'm like, and I was already had a theory at McGill. And I'm like, that made sense. So then I just really started like looking into that then. And then it just really branched out. And again, anagrams came after that. So I already had my spot. And then all this other stuff was like, maybe the book, the theory is, can the book give you an idea if you're really right? I think the book just gives you like enough confidence to go dig. If you're really serious about digging it up. If you were alive in 1985 and figured this out, you could just email or write, Byron, and yep, you were right. It was 113 feet from the grave, or if that was the theory, if that was where it was, you win. He'd still probably want you to dig it up. I don't think he ever really wanted to go back and dig them up.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think he would have either. Like, I think like that thing about like you could write in a solution and you'll be presented with the gem and we'll go dig it up later. Like, I really think that was a cop out. Like, if you're right, yeah, we'll give you the jewel, but that thing's gonna stay in the ground. Like, he's not going back to Montreal to dig that up for you.
Yeah, I don't think.
Of course, who knows? Maybe he's got some friends there that'll do it for him.
Maybe.
Got friends in other places.
But I have thought about, contacting, with COVID at McGill right now, like they're letting students back on campus, but they're doing a lot of virtual stuff. So this may just have to wait. But eventually, they have their own little student newspaper. If you could contact someone that runs that and tell them, hey, this is, this treasure might be at your school, and this is, it might take off. Someone might, I don't want it. I just want someone to go check it and see if that's where it is. And, I don't want them to dig, because like the one guy that was in the group and he actually worked at McGill, the whole city almost, but the entire campus is an archaeological sacred ground. You cannot dig there. I don't know what the punishment would be, but it would be similar to digging at at the Wright Brothers Monument here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
But shout out to Colmay if you're watching. I can't see the comments, so.
There's just a whole bunch of comments about like my connection, really.
He had posted a picture of him and a friend, and his friend was wearing a BEER shirt, which was Atomic Elements, and I'm like, dude, I love his shirt. And then Cole May, what about my shirt? I couldn't see his shirt, so I sent him an Atomic Elements anagram shirt that I think said sarcasm.
Yeah, he's hosting the first ever Western Canadian secret meetup or something with somebody else. He sent me a video that I'm supposed to play a little later. But yeah, he's doing that tonight. He's hanging out with. It's his first ever secret friend, because he lives like way out in West Canada, and like he doesn't.
Yeah, he's way out there. Yeah. So, he gave me his address, and he's way over on the left side. What, near Alberta or?
And like
that
up
area
north where Santa lives. Like I looked at it on the map and it was just white. I was like, nobody can live there.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Anyway.
Yeah. I think that's near Banff. I've heard that's a really pretty place to go visit in Canada. BANFF, Banff.
Yeah. I bet it's gorgeous, but I wouldn't want to go. Not at all.
I hate the cold.
Yeah, it'd be too good. Yeah. Well, you're in Texas, so.
Hey, Mia wants me to get my Florida license. She's ready to move to St. Augustine.
That's a pretty city. It's expensive though now. It's like there was something released. What was like the 25 most cities that are like rising and housing, and one of them, like one of the top 5 was St. Augustine. You can't get like a 3-bedroom house for less than $250,000 right now. That's insane.
$250,000?
Yeah,
$250,000
for like a 2 to 3 bedroom house, and that's a rundown house.
Oh no, I'd build one.
There are mobile homes out here selling for $250,000.
Yeah, they sell for high now.
Yeah.
I built this gym.
Oh, nice. Is that the basketball court? Like,
yeah,
you posted
it's insulated. Here, it's insulated. The lights are really bright, but I got a garage door right there. Anyway, yeah,
it's nuts.
It's nice in here.
When you posted that thing about the people from Hurricane coming to your house, I was like, Jesus, man, do you live at like a school?
We got this loft, my wood shop's right underneath of me. I got the gym, they could stay in there, and then the pool house is really nice. I built that too.
Look, it's Bradley.
Hey.
Hi, Brad.
Go. Oh.
Hey, Brad.
That's it. That's my connection now. Okay.
You
Bradley's.
Hey,
good.
My connection's been going in and out, guys. Sorry. After the storm, I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna try and connect a different way.
Okay.
I'll try to jump back on.
Okay. Bradley.
If I lose you, I'll dial back in because.
No, your connection's perfectly fine.
Okay, because we have horrible cell service out here.
Yeah. What's up, Bradley?
Hey, this might work a little better.
Yes. Here, have some headphones.
Oh, thanks.
Brad, you brought food to my stream too?
Yeah, man.
Bradley's
I always eat on Sunday Funday or Monday margarita day.
Did you get a margarita?
No, I thought a margarita vending machine was going to bring me one, but haven't yet.
Okay. I will
Just get him the bottle of tequila. That's all he needs, right?
Yeah. You need the bottle. True. You can hear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I will text the margarita vending machine. How's food? Jesus. So yeah, it's good.
So what subject do you want to talk about?
Really, I have no subject. Let's see. Can you bring Bradley a drink? I have no subject. What I really wanted to ask, like, I think one thing that once I got you on stream, the one thing that I wanted to point out to people was the way that you present your ideas and sort of that, because it's so different than everybody else. Like, I don't know what's different about the way you present your ideas, but they come across differently than most French hunters, and people don't hate you for it. Like, most people, when they're French hunters and they post ideas, they get a lot of hate, and you're sort of welcomed into the community. Everybody loves Anagram Guy.
I think one thing about his
title hashtag at the top.
Yes, hashtag.
I don't even have Twitter, but I put the hashtag up there.
That way we can search.
I think one thing that I really like about your posts is that you don't come across as arrogant. You come across as, hey man, this is really cool. This is what I found. These are my ideas. I hope you guys like them. What do you think? And not like, this is the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's no guarantee they're the answer. I've been humbled too many times probing where I knew it would be, right, and it wasn't there. So
yeah,
you definitely can feel really, really good about a theory, and it's not there.
Yeah. Take for instance,
very humbling.
Take for instance St. Pete guy that was in the news recently. Have you seen that?
No, St. Pete guy.
Oh God, some guy is convinced that the St. Augustine cask is in St. Petersburg, Florida, and called the newspaper and had the St. Pete Times or whatever write a big article about him, put it in some random field or random park, and that would be fine, right? Except that this guy's going around commenting everywhere that he's right, everybody else is wrong, and we need to start looking on the west coast of Florida.
I'm never going to change it. St. Augustine. I got anagrams to St. Augustine.
So do I.
mean,
Saloy. It's a good one.
I'm not changing. Yeah. Right. And that's kind of what made me think that maybe there's more to it than just an acrostic. Maybe there's a little more in depth. Now, some of my anagrams are terrible. Some of them are. Some of them are really good. I mean, they're going to be terrible if they're wrong. So,
I mean, I get
I have a
behind
really
them.
good.
I get behind it though, because like one of the things that John Palancar said was something that he thinks there's a code in the back, and if there's a code in the back, we should be looking for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I
Like the
heard
city
you
I work on
earlier
a lot
say that
right
you have
now
a pharmacy background.
is New York.
Which is really awesome. I didn't realize that.
What are you looking for? Keys. I don't have.
You didn't realize I was a pharmacist?
No, I didn't know that. So that makes a lot of sense, especially with the periodic table and everything.
I took him outside. Sorry, you guys can keep talking. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You didn't.
Okay.
We talked without you.
Good. I'm not important.
Well, yeah, and again, the whole anagram and the atomic element kind of started at the same time because, I already had a couple of good theories I felt good about, and that was Montreal and Milwaukee. Like, I never left the Dell at McGill, and I've never left Postman Square in Milwaukee. I've been there for practically a year. And I feel like the code tells you exactly where it's buried. Like it's, you think about how to build an anagram, which I've never done anagrams, don't like puzzles. I solve problems for a living. If you know anything about pharmacy, this job is incredibly hard. And that's all I do is solve problems and put out fires all day long.
Please don't ask Alan about ivermectin.
It's for worms. Like, why are they using that? It doesn't make any sense at all.
Wait, you're saying I shouldn't have taken that earlier?
I don't think it'll hurt you, but
the guy at the farmer supply store said that 2 vials would do me good.
if you got a tapeworm, it's gone.
I went by Tractor Supply and I told them I had a big stud at my house, and they gave me this dewormer.
Yeah.
I used to work with doctors who prescribed ivermectin for something. Anyway, we shouldn't get Paul.
They use some weird drugs for viruses. Like one of my doctors pointed out in the clinical trials of Tagamet for stomach acid. They don't know what to dose the drug when they're doing trials. So they had given people 10,000 milligrams of Tagamet, right? Cimetidate, which is over the counter. And within a week, if they had warts, every wart died on their body. So they didn't really market it for warts, but they know that it has antiviral activity. So there's weird stuff like that. So they give people, they don't give them that. They give them Pepsid when they get COVID. They get Pepsid, a steroid, hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin, which don't make any sense. Hydroxychloroquine is used to treat malaria. That's viral. So definitely
makes a little more sense.
Maybe, but the drugs they're using just don't make sense because they don't have a drug to treat it. It ain't like Tamiflu, where you just, here's a pill, it definitely kills it, take this, you'll be better.
Brando on YouTube wants us to tell him what's going on. We got Alan Thomason on stream, so we're just bullshitting. Alan Thomason, he asked if it was periodic Montreal guy. Yes, Alan is periodic Montreal guy. Sunday.
Yeah, I found that anagram this morning. Yep, the one about first one ever that said periodic table. I'm so excited.
Sunday said that the reason that people respect you is that you're just a great guy who doesn't attach your ego to your theories. So,
I definitely could be wrong. I just want someone to probe the ground and see if I'm right. I would love to be right. That would be so much fun if I was right.
I just want somebody to find that code in the back that John was talking about, and I feel like if anybody's going to do it, you're going to do it. Because you're already anagram and everything.
I have probed the heck out of Tranquility Park in Houston. I know that.
Yeah. So is that what you're? So you're not in Herman Park.
I'm dead set on Tranquility. Dead set. So, I've probed a little bit in Herman, and we made 4 or 5 trips down there, and we checked by flagpoles and some other areas, but and then one day I saw a post and it was talking about, is it Herman? Is it Tranquility? And I'm like, I looked at Tranquility and then one of my friends from Charleston, when I was working on Charleston, said, hey, get Google Street View and, you can walk around some of these parks. So you can see what they're like without having to visit. And that was a godsend, was being able to see it. And you see the fountains there in Tranquility. And then I thought somehow you could line them up and figure out where it was buried. I don't think that anymore.
So, well, let me ask
now
you
I
this.
think we got it.
Because there aren't many people who are publicly talking about Houston and not talking about Herman Park, right? I mean, there's a lot of people who have like random wild ideas, but they never have an entire solution based around. So what, like, Wheelhouse's ideas on Herman Park were always pretty cut and dry to me. And they seem backed up by the hints. They seem to flow really nicely and have really good answers. What was it that convinced you he was wrong? Like, what changed your mind about Herman Park? Because everybody sort of starts there with the 982. Like, what's shifted you to Tranquility Park?
Well, I don't know what shifted me. When I saw the fountains, like, I thought, well, I'm at least going to explore the option.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's a lot of Herman Park leaguers, so I'm like, I think we got that covered. So let's just explore outside the box. So looked into Tranquility, and I can't remember the thing that like absolutely triggered me, but when you see those fountains, and you see all the triangles in that park, and then later on I realized so many of my spots are right next to a road triangle or a triangle or some sort of triangle shape. Yeah. You know, Montreal, McGill, the grave of McGill is in a road triangle. Where you helped me probe, right across the street, there's a road triangle. Tranquility, there's a big giant triangle right there below the fountain. Milwaukee, I'm in a road triangle. Postman Square is a road triangle. And so, if anything, it started out as, I started out as road triangle guy, if anything. One of my first map ideas was to map Moon Street, which is part of a little triangle. And you just draw a line to where the cask is, and that seemed to correlate with the triangle on her little sash. I'm like, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if anybody could ever possibly figure that out, though. But it seems to be a heck of a coincidence that it points to a triangle painted in the painting. So it's a possibility.
Yeah. I don't know that you could ever take me away from that train. And I mean, the verse telling you to take your task to the train.
Well, and then, maybe it's just a math problem, because so many of my theories now involve figuring out what's the number. Yeah. So 98 minus 2, I don't know if you know my theory for Houston. 98 minus 2 is 96. And my triangle is 32, 64, 96. And it starts at a triangle. And I've measured this to the moonlight, and there's that one quote in the book. It's in the front of the book. I think it's page 19, like moonlight and icicles. Well, when do icicles form? It's 32 or below, right?
Okay.
And moonlight. And there's a light on that little moon dome right next to the triangle. And I measured from the point of the triangle to the moonlight. It is exactly 32 feet to the inch. But that puts it under pavers. So I'm done with that too. I mean, if he wanted you to, if they were dry set back then, I've put in dry pavers. You can fill them up, dig through the sand, get your cast, put it all back nice and neat. You could possibly make it look good, but they're cemented now. If it's there, it's like that. I'm done with that city.
Yeah.
Because I really think I'm right. And I found a lot of anagrams since then about that too.
Isn't there somebody in Houston with a GPR? I don't remember. I think there is.
I don't know. I haven't met them if they are.
I want to say there was a dude in Houston with a GPR, or at least somewhere like his main focus was Houston. I'll have to look.
Yeah, I don't know.
If it's under pavers, that's easy to scan through.
Yeah. You think it would scan through pavers?
Yeah, GPR doesn't care. GPR doesn't care about what it's scanning through.
Okay.
It'll scan through anything.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it doesn't care at all.
Not know that.
You scan through concrete, it won't really scan through water very well. I mean, it will, but not very well. But anything, It doesn't care.
Well,
So,
it'd be easy to check then if I could ever get a GPR down there. But yeah, I really love Tranquility Park. I don't think I could get back to Herman Park, and I don't know how to make any measurements. Like I want an exact foot.
yeah.
And where was the train located exactly? Where would you measure off the train? How many feet would it be? I don't know. I stopped working on it, so I don't know the answer to any of that.
Have you tried any of these with Cleveland or Chicago? I mean,
I cannot figure out Chicago for the life of me, but I do know my newest idea is that from Lincoln to those lions at the art building, it may not be over the actual halo fence, but I think it's over the next one. And then you figure out, okay, maybe one of the halo fences had something to do with it. But it's not exact, so I don't know. Those guys had a really hard time figuring out where Chicago was. Obviously, they admittedly dug 100 holes or more.
yeah.
I would have done the same thing. I don't know to this day where he buried Chicago. I have no idea. I mean, we know the general area. We know within 18, 20 feet where it is. And he says it was exactly right here. Okay. I can't figure it out. I can't find an anagram. I can't find an element. I can't find where would it be buried. You know, my idea is that fence and fixture, F and F, that it's fluorine and fluorine, which is F. So 18, that's 9 and 9. Maybe it was 18 feet away. I don't know. That would have been my guess. If I was doing this today and it wasn't found, I would dig 18 feet in some direction or at least probe, see if I could get something.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah.
Not really gonna
but,
hold you.
But
I was just curious.
But Milwaukee, oh man, you've got the date of when the NALC was formed. That was 1886. Same year, 1886 or 1889? 1889. Same year Adolf Hitler was born, right across the street from a building called Germania. And it's exactly 89 feet, 88, 89, from the lion, which is a fifth, to the spot, and then 39 to a police thing, and then 97 back, which is the fifth transuranium element. So from a fifth, off a fifth, it's just, there's a lot of coincidences there, and a lot of dates make sense to that.
Yeah.
Which, that's what I'm looking at with New York now. Because Milwaukee, you're not going to get that one. There's AstroTurf there. Not coming out anytime soon.
All right. Let's see. Like I feel like we picked a horrible night because everybody is doing nothing but complaining about the connection, and there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. So I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
But at least I'm recording it, so I can put it up, and it'll be buffer free. Like the whole conversation will be fine. Yeah. I don't know why it's buffering. We got a fairly decent connection. Anyway, doesn't matter. So, what did you want to talk about, Bradley? You want to talk about anything? Oh, Jesus, you ate all of the pasta.
Almost. I've got one piece left.
It was good, though. No, I'll wait.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So what city are you working on, George, besides St. Augustine? What city are you working on the most?
The most are the ones that I get to visit, or that I have a reason to visit. So I work on.
You're about to go to New York, right? In October?
Yeah, I got a fairly, I don't really have a good idea about New York. I've got, I mean, like a whole idea, like a theory. I've got a lot of little snippets of things that I've found that I really like. And I kind of think, sort of in the same way, if you and I were talking about Cleveland, and we didn't already know the solution, we were just going on what we could find online, there'd be a lot of unanswered questions. But as soon as you went to the cultural garden, all of them would be answered. I kind of feel like New York, to me, might be the same way, where I've got a lot of little snippets for things that could be verse references, like this line references this, and then 4 lines later, this is reference, and they're all really compact. And I feel like once I can visit it and see it, that the holes will be filled in. But I haven't been working a whole lot on it. The ones that I focus on seem to be St. Augustine, like San Francisco, Charleston, not so much anymore, and New Orleans. Those are the ones that I focus on the most. When I have time. I don't ever have time anymore.
I bet. I'd somehow try to find 2 hours a day sometimes a little bit more.
Yeah.
Thought to. That post I did about NC Simple Roots, where I like anagrammed it. I think I anagrammed it 250 times. Hey, buddy. I don't know. That's a really neat one.
Do you have a program that does this for you?
No.
Oh.
There's that online app website. You'll have to Google it. EYL apostrophe S anagram solver. I don't know how to say the name. EYL apostrophe S anagram solver. It's got like a black back screen. All the words are white. You just put in what you want, NC Simple Roots, and hit go. And then as you pick, okay, I see SOL for Statue of Liberty. Boom, it'll take that out. So now you just have what's left. And it's unlimited. There's so many anagram solvers that are 20 to 30 characters max. Some of these lines are, 40 characters long. So you need one that can do way more than 20. Otherwise, there's no way to solve them.
Andrew Cullen says Scrabble tiles work great. Like if you just buy a bunch of Scrabble tiles, that's actually a really good idea. You want to do them manually.
I do not want to do that manually. It's so much faster with that app, but even at that, it takes a long time. And again, when I find one, I copy it, cut it, text it, I message it to myself so that I'll do a whole day of one, and then I don't know. Sometimes I'll change in the middle of the day. I'll get bored with it. I'll switch off to another one.
Let me see. I wonder how long have we been going? 35 minutes. Let me see something real quick. Let me see if I can fix a couple of things for these guys
buddy.
so that they will. 7:20.
It's not quite dark. You want to walk back? You're going to have Mom come get you.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to fix it. That's all right. I'll just upload it later.
All right.
So what else, Bradley?
Not a mucho. So I'm in Florida, and I haven't seen an alligator yet. I'm very sad about that. We even saw a sign in a parking lot that said, "Beware, alligator. Do not feed the wildlife." So I made George pull over, and I got out of the car, and I walked over to the little water pond thing that was there behind the sign, and there were no alligators. What the hell, Florida?
Sorry, man. We got a lot of alligators, but they don't come out and say hello.
Yeah, apparently not.
You ever seen it?
I can't find alligators in Florida. I don't think I'm going to be able to find a cask.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to post the Zoom link in the thing, so if anybody wants to come in, they can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stream is much better when you're actually in the Zoom. But yeah, because I think I'm really out of questions. I just really wanted to point out.
So there are members that have out their theories that I don't even read their posts anymore because of the way they present their theories. And then there's you.
Yeah. Actually, read yours. I don't really understand a lot of them.
That's fair. I'm with you. But I still read it because I feel like George does that. You are approaching it in a very unique way. And there's a very good chance you are going to stumble onto something that's going to be game changing. So I'm very excited about your progress, and I want it to continue.
Simon,
I can't wait to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I can't wait till San Francisco lets me check the spot there. That's definitely third in line of the ones I'm confident about. He doesn't want to walk back in the dark by himself.
I think they pushed back the dig dates for that, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, they pushed back.
Like I said, I've done a lot of cool anagrams to San Francisco. It's honoring the San Francisco touchdown, so it's honoring the 49ers. It's 49 feet. I don't know. I can't wait. But they pushed it back. It may be another year.
Yeah.
Linda
Sunday,
just posted it.
Or Simon wants to know if there's any ideas that you've shelved. Like if you had anything before anagrams that you just shelved.
So I had almost everything I have. I'll tell you the cities I cheated on. I cheated on Charleston, St. Augustine. Of course, I was already in I already still believe in right there by the water wheel. But now it's over by the old jail. Charleston, I definitely cheated on. New Orleans, pretty sure that at that point, you know, my spot's different than Carly. That I'm in Carly Paralysis, Hunter's Field. I really think that one's right. A lot of anagrams for that one. But I know I was on the anagrams and atomic elements then because like that one is 333 feet. So that's 1.5 times 222. So, and then that one ends in some sort of triangle, but the lights there are weird distances apart. But he's in a different spot. He's using some different lights. Who knows? But that is a rough part of town, and I am not going there. That Hunter's Field, that is not a place you go check out unless you know somebody.
There was a weird comment, and I feel I should point out that Brando says he cheated on his wife, and that's nice.
Oh gosh.
I don't know why I said that. I'm assuming I'm missing a joke, but whatever. Brando's a dick.
Well, maybe his wife is the place he thinks the cask is.
Maybe she's a dick. She's
I don't know. Who knows? It's possible.
If ever I'm right about Montreal, then Arthur is going to have to carve a figurine of the three bears, and I feel really bad for him.
I really I'm loving that idea from earlier about contacting the students, because I really think if you're going to get anything done at a school, like
they do have a newspaper there, and then I think Gabby had pointed out that the old magazine was called Fortnite.
Yeah,
McGill Fortnite. But they do have a student like newsletter and stuff. So if you could get someone there, you definitely could get some momentum going because it's definitely in Montreal. Like, it's in Montreal. So
even if it's not in the school, even if it's not in the school, they'd be interested. That's cool. That's a good idea. We should track some of these.
You just got to get some interest because no one knows about the secret there. No one knows it.
Yeah.
You just need an article published.
There was a nod to it in the new Assassin's Creed game. I don't know if anybody knows that. There was a nod to the secret in the new Assassin's Creed game. Yeah, it was done by Ubisoft Montreal. Was the game? Yeah, you didn't know that?
I've not heard this.
There's like a letter. It's really early on in Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the name of the game. You stumble upon these letters throughout the games that people have written. They're like ancient texts, and there's one about a guy. It's a response for permission to dig for a treasure. And it's perfect. I sent it to Kit. I'll find it and I'll send it to him.
Okay.
It's perfect. It's obviously directly related to the secret.
That's pretty funny.
And coming from Ubisoft Montreal, you're like, oh shit. So somebody knows. There was another one too. There was another little nod, but I don't remember what it was. Anyway. Yeah. So somebody knows. But like getting the students involved is a great idea. Because like even if the school's not going to give you permission, the students will probably do it anyway.
Yeah, there was a guy that was in the group, but he's kind of dropped out of it now, and he doesn't want people to contact him, so I'm not going to say his name. But he worked there, and I tried to convince him that, but no luck. So I don't know. One day it might happen. It'll take something like what you're talking about with getting the students involved.
Chris Woodford asked a question, and I know that you and I made an agreement that we wouldn't really talk about the anagrams that much. So I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to leave it up to you if you want to answer it now, or if you want to answer it later, or if you want to completely skip over. I know it's something that you've thought about, so I feel like I could ask it. Chris asked, has anyone tried to make a puzzle where the solution is this kind of anagram? If we put ourselves into the puzzle maker's shoes, do we think Byron could have reasonably created something so complex? Because it's really complex, the ideas that you put forth. So have you thought about them from sort of Byron's perspective and how he would want
Absolutely. I mean, people don't know how much I've done. I have anagrammed just about everything in the book. And I realized quickly that the back of the book, the only thing that I will even now say that's an anagram is the name of the fairy and the Latin name. Sometimes, but there's some I can't anagram. I just can't figure them out. But I've got so many good ones, but they're only from the name of the fairy. So if they had, there's all these theories that they had already written the back of the book. Okay, great. That works great with my theory. But what if they didn't title the name of the fairy yet? What if Byron put that there?
That's a good
What if
point.
that's the only thing he added was the name of the fairy? Because that's the only thing that I can make good anagrams from, is especially the Latin names.
Yeah.
The names underneath, those are the ones I get really good anagrams from. Sometimes you combine both, like I did today, and you get a good anagram. So that's okay, because there's not a lot in the stories. There's some references. Carly's the expert on how they relate to things. I'm just looking for anagrams now. That's about all I focus on, is seeing if I'm looking for a hint. Is there something hidden? Could they have done this? I think they started simple. Like if you saw my NC Simple Roots, they started with something small, and they said, well, you can't make this work with one city. This would have to be at least 12 cities, because there's so many possibilities to just even 15 letters. So from there, they could have built on something. Do I think there's a key? Yes. I just don't know what it is. I mean, we need more cities found to know for sure. I mean, there's no way to know. I'm just looking at possibilities, because the frustrating part of this is everyone guessing, or everyone, oh, this is a thing, or this is a thing. And I'm like, now I'm to the point, if it does an anagram, I don't look there. You know, like I got anagrams to Astoria Park, but I mean, even Astoria doesn't make sense. Like, there's not a lion, there's not the three bears, there's not these sculptures. It's a light pole, and maybe one of the supports of Hellgate Bridge. Like those are just really random objects to pick. So I just don't get it. If that's how they did it, I don't understand how they picked a spot. But I absolutely 100% believe in the anagrams that I put out. They may not be right. I mean, there's so many that they don't make sense.
There's something that you pointed out that was important, and I think people should do well to remember. I know one of the Secret Spirits and other guys made an article about it once. I want to say it was Phoenix, but I'm not sure. You were right in that no matter what we know or don't know about the back of the book, like we don't know if Byron wrote the back of the book, but we do know he wrote certain parts of it. We know, like, the scientific names he probably had a hand in, which means he probably had a hand in the names of the fairies, but he also had a hand in the descriptions of the images. Like, all of the images have little text underneath them, and he wrote that. So as far as I'm concerned, hints in the back of the book, that's where they're fair game. Like the stuff Byron made. Have you tried that too? Have you tried anagramming the stuff under the images, or did I just like give you a whole bunch of new work?
I haven't, because some of those descriptions are massively long. So like the one today that I posted, the periodic table, you can get another anagram out of that. I was working on that for Boston, Mass. And I like Mass because Massachusetts and the mass of element. So you can abbreviate it Boston, Mass. And you can get that, and I can get some really cool words out of it. And then I'm searching through, and all of a sudden I saw periodic. And I stopped. I'm like, do I got table? Because I want table. I want an anagram that says periodic table. So within less than 60 seconds, I had that anagram from just seeing the one word, periodic. Saw periodic, so I'm like, I got a Table. I've got the word atom. I've got RN. I'm like, because I have been dying to prove that radon 222 is definitely a link to the puzzle at McGill. And so I had that anagram in less than 60 seconds once I saw that one word. So sometimes you put a lot of work into it, and then I just quickly turn and go a different direction. I think there's hidden stuff in the book. The text and they're just too long. Yeah. They're way too long to know where you're going with that.
There's got to be a program. There's got to be an anagram program.
Yeah.
Like some random
does anyone work
script.
for it? I mean, the government, does ciphers, and we need someone with the FBI or something like that. We need someone on the inside that can break this code.
Someone on the inside, someone in the FBI to explain the periodic table.
That's what we need.
That's what we need. Yes.
Because you're stuck with anagram guy until then.
I swear there's a program out there for anagrams. I swear that me and Brett used one for a puzzle once, and I'll have to find it. One that like
there are some, but
will take 200-300 characters in anagram and create sentences.
The problem is, yeah, they find names of historic persons, and they'll build like logical combinations, and those are really neat because they're already, some of them are pre-built. So I will use a different one sometimes when I'm kind of stuck on one. But the one generic one, I like it the best because some of this is code. Like, and I'll put a key like OD is opposite direction, and Leo is, lion, obviously, and I'll put all these different ones. And L is 50. That's Roman number 50, but L might mean left. So it could be a lot of different things. And then you got all the different atomic elements. And I always have a laminated copy of the periodic table. And like, do any of these distances make sense? So when you add them up, does it add up to something that is your theory? Because if your theory's wrong, I mean, nothing's going to make sense anyway. And I have found just so many for my two, Montreal and Milwaukee. It's 67 feet from the Three Bears. There's the 67 in the image. And when you stand at that spot, I had the guy that works at McGill. The Montreal beacon lights are directly over the White Fountain. I mean, directly. They are precisely right over the fountain. There's a lot of cool coincidences, but it's at least worth a probe. It's just, will someone get over there and check it? I don't know. That'd be cool. I can't wait.
Steven Chat says you should hit up the archaeology department at McGill as well. That's probably a good idea.
Now, this is interesting. Houston, Texas Dave says, for Montreal, are you considering that an anagram could be in French?
Oh God,
I'm not. And I don't. And I took 4 years of French, but it was not to learn French.
Oh.
I took 2 years of French. I remember 2 words. I remember pourquoi, which I think means why, and I remember fatouille, which I think means footstool.
The only thing I know in French is crêpe fromage, s'il vous plaît.
I know some dirty words.
Yeah. If it's French, I'm out. It's not happening. Anagram guy sticks to English and little short codes. That's all I do. Anyway, I'm just doing something different because obviously no one does what I do. They're just possibilities. They're just, it might be here. And of course, I'm biased. I always post the ones that work out really well for my theories.
Steve has asked a question a couple of times, and then he just private messaged me the question. So I'm guessing he really wants to ask this question.
Okay.
It's I think you answered it before, so it might have been off stream. I'm not sure. How do anagrams hold up to the 3 solved ones? But you said you haven't really worked on 3 solved ones, right?
So I have. It worked really good for Boston. There's anagrams to that. I think I did 2 different ones where I try to anagram every line. Yeah. They're not always good. There's always a few good ones in there. They're hard. It's not meant to be easy.
Everything can't be an anagram, right? So you're really looking for what's good, and you can discard what's bad.
Yeah. I anagram every line just to see if I can make every line at least make a little bit of sense to where they found it for Boston and for Cleveland and Chicago. For Cleveland, though, it didn't really talk about the spot. It talked more about it. It was, I don't know if you saw that post. It was, Cleveland is Cl. The element 17 is chlorine, 17.
I do
and
know.
Ohio is the 17th state.
Okay.
Cl 17. So if you substitute Ohio, OH, for the 17, you got Cl, OH. Maybe you could figure out that that's Cleveland, Ohio. But when I did the breakdown of trying to figure out does the Cleveland verse anagram, it was more talking about the periodic table itself, almost like it was trying to teach you this is about the table. It didn't talk about, I couldn't find anything that said Greek cultural gardens I didn't find much of that. I hadn't read that post in forever. I have to go back and look at it, but
all right. That answers that.
But yeah, I think every line of the verse, every single line has an anagram. Every line.
Every line?
Every single line of the verse, What's the one? What's my favorite one? The Germania building one. You've seen my Germania building one? As you walk the beating of the world, I think anagrams to Germania building, C2 lion's feet, something like that.
Have you ever tried to do this in reverse? Just to.
What do you mean?
Because I feel like when you're doing something like this, it's easy to get lost in possibilities. But have you ever tried to do it in reverse? Have you ever tried to take legible information or legible instructions for somebody and turn it into a sentence that makes sense to use in a puzzle? A sentence where you wouldn't absolutely at first glance go, this is an anagram for something.
Like try to create my own puzzle?
Yeah.
See if I can make a verse line out of it?
Yeah. Because what you're describing with every line being an anagram is damn near impossible. Like not like physically impossible. Yeah, no, not hard. Impossible.
Yeah. No, I'm going to show you how hard it is because I'm the only one that's apparently capable of doing it.
All right, that would be a challenge. That take some instructions for something, anything, whatever, and try to anagram it into a sentence that makes sense.
I'll do a post in the next week. I'll see if I can't come up with something.
All right, cool.
And then you guess what it is, and the verse will make sense to something, and then you see if you can figure it out.
All right. I mean, I was just asking for a line, but if you want to make multiple lines, that'd be great too.
I'll see if I can at least do 4 or 5 lines to where it's like at least, I'll see what I can do.
Because I remember Brett did a puzzle like that once where he only had to anagram. It was probably like 10 letters, and it was near impossible for him to figure out a way to write it in plain text to where you couldn't look at it and automatically go, "This is an anagram."
You can easily do it in reverse. You put what you want, and then do that same anagram solver that I use, and now just pick out words that,
Yeah, but you got to make it.
I'll see if I can do it.
I mean, I'm saying stuff like, lane 222. You'll see an arc of lights, weights and roots. You see what I'm saying? It's got to make sense, and you can look at those verses and not automatically, like when we look at some of the anagrams that you post, sometimes they don't make a whole lot of sense without explanation.
No, they don't. Some of them are really bad.
But you have to reverse that. You have to make them make total sense. If that makes sense. It's really difficult to explain what I'm trying to say without saying the word sense a lot.
I think what he's trying to say is, okay, so let's say I have a puzzle I'm putting together, and I want to make it where you have to convert what I put into an anagram to get the solution, but I don't want you to read it and go, well, this doesn't look like it's natural. There's something very obvious about this text. This is probably an anagram. And doing that, especially in a 12-line verse over and over again, is really, really going to be a challenge.
This is a very large margarita glass, and I've drank a lot of it. That was hard to explain. So anyway, Chris said that was what he was trying to ask. But yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to see what you come up with.
I'll try that. If you want, you can contribute. Give me 5 lines, like, on my third shelf, from the left, underneath the secret book, there is an item. A dog, and like you give me what the answer is.
Well, do exactly that.
You'll find
do exactly that.
A leg eater, and then you give that to me, and I'll see if I can't somehow Now I'll need exact distances because I'm going to throw in like it's exactly. This
you're making this way harder on yourself.
Yeah, I'll try it though.
Okay, I'll do it. Just do exactly what you just said. On my second shelf, 5th book from the left is I don't know. There's a pin. There's a pin on my bookshelf. How many books did I say? I don't know. Make up some shit. And if anybody if once you post it, if it makes sense, if anybody can figure it out, we'll give them a pen. There'll be a prize. We'll do a contest.
I'll try it.
Yeah.
What the heck? I'm running out of things to anagram.
All right, cool. Do we want to head out for the night, or do you want to head out for the night?
I've got nothing of quality.
I'm under no time limit.
Okay. I am. I haven't had dinner.
I've been margarited.
Bradley.
I did
Bradley
not,
got to eat.
and I've barely had any of this thing, and I'm already feeling it. So I've slowed down.
Good, man.
All right. Well, we're gonna head
I
out
wish
for
I
the
could
night.
go to the New York meetup. Y'all have fun.
You should totally come.
I can't.
Are there New York things we need to add? Oh, you have to have a vaccine card.
Yes, New York is requiring
I
for
got
all
one,
indoor
man.
activities to have a vaccine, proof of vaccination.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think during the event.
I got my
requiring
vaccine,
masks.
and they still.
Yeah.
And now they make us wear the mask anyway at work, so that is totally not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta help each other out.
It's the law.
It is. Yeah. It is what it is.
I think that's the only thing.
Yeah. No, that was fun, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Dude, thank you so much
and
for
thank
coming
you for everything that you've
You're welcome.
Even though it hasn't.
I'll keep it up. I keep finding anything.
Produced
I'll
anything yet? It will.
You know.
Yeah.
And then people ask me to help them, and I'm more than happy to help them. And I'll ask them like, what's their keywords? Like, if you're by this particular flagpole in this particular park, or I need keywords, like the Hamilton statue or this such and such flagpole. It's like, and I'll need, do you have a theory of the exact distance? Do you even know? So like someone asked me to help her, but there were no keywords in that verse I could find. Because, you could easily go through and, spot. There's some letters that are very, very rare. They don't occur very often.
Yeah.
But they occur a lot in the secret. Like letters that don't occur in normal writing, like the frequency of letters, they occur a lot in the secret.
Like which letter? Like Z's?
Like I'll have to post it. It's like the commonality of most letters, or
Did you do a frequency analysis of the letters of the secret? Because I'd be curious to see that if you actually did it. And if you didn't do it, I bet Chris Woodford is going to steal this idea and go do it himself.
Well, he can have it, absolutely. That's one less thing on my plate. But like the people have analyzed, like I think even Andrew Cullen has looked at how many letters have occurred this many times versus the number of times they normally occur. Like, obviously the vowels occur a lot, but like the letters U and Y and Z and certain ones, they don't occur very often at all.
Chris just posted he posted RSTLNE, which I think is the default letters for Wheel of Fortune.
RSTLNE?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the most commonly used letters in the English language.
Yeah, those would be the most common.
That's a good way, to just... It's something that most people who work on the secret wouldn't consider, but that's a really good way to figure out if there's a code in something. You run the frequency analysis for the letters, and it should match up pretty closely to like a normal frequency. And if it doesn't, there's a code there.
If it doesn't, then there's something hiding. Yeah. And if you look on those breaking cipher pages, they'll tell you that if there's certain letters that appear non-normal like this, then that means that it's not a random set of letters. There's something there.
Yeah. Matt Sparks says he has one.
Nice.
Matt Sparks has everything. He's had 80 years to work on the secret. 82 years. He has it all.
Hey, I just also
my wife says I've been doing this. She says I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years now, and it's been a year and 8 months.
Yeah,
but that's what it feels like to her.
I want to make a quick shout out while we're live to Alan Thomason and the rest of the community that reached out to everybody else in the community to offer help during Ida.
Okay, I understand now.
Yeah, so thank you very, very much. This community is
nobody took me up on it. You could have stayed in the gym. I have a full house.
I thought about hitting you.
Air conditioned. It was nice.
I thought about taking you
up on that.
Dude,
hardly
I was
anybody
hoping that you were just going to open it up to whoever wanted to come.
Yeah.
Because, hello.
I was like, Texarkana sounds great.
With a full house, let's do this.
Didn't you guys... There was some weird mystery in Texarkana for a while, wasn't there? Didn't some dude get shot in town square and nobody would say who did it?
Well, there's a mystery of why didn't anybody take him up on the full house? That's a mystery.
That's a mystery. All right.
But thank you. To you and
You're
to the rest of the community for taking care of each other.
That was a legit offer. I wish somebody had taken me up on it.
Oh, yeah, because the people the people who stayed there, they couldn't leave at that point. Like it was.
Yeah,
nuts.
Unfortunately, a lot of the community members that didn't get out in time, they didn't have a choice.
Yeah,
so they couldn't get out.
And they'll like the pictures that I've seen of people's houses since then is crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. And what?
All right. Well, we'll head out. I guess. We'll end the stream. I'm gonna add. I'm gonna re-upload this so that.
Hey guys, from the Sunday Funday crew and everybody in the secret groups.
Later when I re-upload
this is
it.
the
And then
presumably the first Western
so
Canadian secret meetup has taken place, and we want to let you all know, especially everybody in Montreal, that we're coming for your cask. Have a good night at Sunday Funday, and hopefully we can all chat soon.
What's up,
see you later,
Cole?
man.
All right, y'all take it
have a
easy.
good night.
Thank you.
Yep.
You too.